How many of those do you guys have? Now, as I was saying,
EA Sports coverage of college football takes us to Miami, Florida, and Hard Rock Stadium for the 2019 Kickoff Classic and an early season matchup of powerhouses. It's the home state Florida Gators taking on the Trojans from Southern Cal. College football is back here on EA Sports. The new season underway here in Miami. Set to go now on a beautiful sunny afternoon. And this one is underway here on EA Sports. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Here's 1st and 10 for the Trojans. That is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. They'll run from the gun with Charles. And right away, he lost the football. And this is picked up by the defense.
Ain't got no feet.
And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This taken in about 4 yards deep, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt a return. The SC offense about set to take over here. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back. And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
To throw on 2nd down, Flynn. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in
a big seam, and he might go all the way. 30, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Southern Cal. A big play there. 89 yards. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially,
through an opening, and there he goes.
Take off your helmet and give me a kiss next time.
Still going inside the 30. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him. Kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And this carries into the end zone. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. The Trojan offense ready to get their next drive started. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
29-yard line.
Looking to throw on second down. Flynn and Walker with it over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. On that catch, he's already eclipsed 100 yards here in the first quarter. Charles, he's on pace for over 400.
And playing with great confidence, isn't he? I think he probably had it coming into the game, and now that he's really come out of the gate this strongly, how'd you like to be in the huddle with him right now? You know he's demanding the football. And guess what? I'd throw it to him. He's having a fantastic game, and they haven't defended him yet.
On second down now, it's Charles. And he loses the football a second time. And the defense says they have it. Yes, they've got it. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused, because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
They'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The Gators now with a 1st and 10.
The 21-yard line.
Operating from the gun, Rose. He's going to take off with it. And there he goes again. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
From the gun, Rose. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
On second down, it's Jennings. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage.
The ball carrier.
Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
No gain on the play.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rose. And he will score. Touchdown, Florida. From 6 yards away. And the Gators push that lead out a bit further. It's good, and it is now 21-7.
That's the score. Gators 21, Trojans 7.
Here's Florida now after the touchdown, back out to kick it off. Takes this about 5 yards deep, and no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The SC offense about set to take over here. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around. And he can't escape, and down he goes. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 23 yards the pickup there.
At the 43-yard
line. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score.
With the score, Gators 21, Trojans 7.
first. Here's Washington. A gain of 3, second down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The throw over the middle taken in. And he will score. Touchdown, Southern Cal. A big play there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And his guys are able to make this a close game again. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
So now following the USC touchdown, on is the kick team to send this one away. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Ready to begin their next drive. Here's the Florida offense. We have witnessed touchdowns on back-to-back drives. We'll see if the offense can continue this uptick here.
And I know you're looking at me funny. You're wondering when I'm going to get upset watching these guys go up and down field, aren't you?
I wasn't looking at you. I got something in my eye.
That's the excuse that you always use for something like that. Listen, I appreciate good offensive football as much as the next person. When it's played well and is skillful, I'm with it. And right now, this is exciting.
Oh, the defender likes it. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 11 yards there, first down. I tell you, you look around the college football landscape, there's some really good running backs this year. The draft projections really littered with that crop of players, and we've got a couple of them in our game here this afternoon.
And I'm glad that you pointed that out, partner, because we always talk about the guys who throw the football and the guys who catch the ball, but the runners are still vital, and that was a pretty good run right there, a good illustration of what he can do. And they're counting on those kind of runs to help them win their conference, because you and I both know that's the best path to the college football playoff. Win your conference first and give yourself that opportunity.
It's a first down on a gain of 10.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line. They run. Anderson. And some room to run now.
And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
That's good for another Florida first down. First and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Now a run with Anderson. Room here to run. And he is in. Touchdown Gators. 22 yards. And the Gators push that lead out a bit further. A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there. Each guy has his own assignment, That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
Here's Florida now after the touchdown, back out to kick it off. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Trojan offense ready to get their next drive started. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides of this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like you're just
under pressure, and down he goes.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Operating from the gun. Flynn, and that will be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Ellington now to return it. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Gator offense about ready to get this next drive started. Eluding the pressure right. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. 2nd and 10. Off the play fake. Rose. He'll buy some time right. He's going to take off with it. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. No one there to help out downfield, but no problem scrambling for 22 and a first. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Off play action. Rose. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. Well, the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
The incomplete pass there, and you think about the quarterback position in college football. Kind of seems like once you get a guy developed, his 4 years are up, just like that. He's off to the NFL. So what we're seeing here, a first ever college start at the quarterback position. How hard is it to...
And that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Florida.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get us.
Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And would you believe it? This is caught. In the end zone. And the fake extra point works to extend their lead by 2. Here's Florida now after the touchdown, back out to kick it off. Fields it in the middle of the end zone. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
25-yard line.
The SC offense about set to take over here. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead.
43, Trojans 14.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
Takes this about 5 yards deep. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Trojan offense ready to get their next drive started. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. And he coughed it up! And this will be scooped up by the defense.
Flynn's pass complete. A fumble on the.
There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S. Ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
A good gain of 12 yards that time. They had 3 tight ends in on that set, and they were really good at blocking for their running back.
And give them a lot of credit because in football nowadays, tight ends coming out of college often don't block very often. These guys have really developed into superior blockers, and that's why they use them in this formation so often.
The pickup goes for 13 and sets him up 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
The final shot before break. Rose. And he will score. Touchdown, Florida. From 4 yards out. And this offense is running away with this one.
I'll tell you what, a pretty special performance for his first ever start. Now with 3 touchdown passes.
Well, that's not a bad number to get things going, is it? Because, let's face it, we had our attention on him coming into this game. He's fully captivated us now. With every score, I think he's making his case to stay as a starting quarterback and not get involved in a rotation system.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. Fields it in the middle of the end zone.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. And with that, we reach halftime in Miami in the opener to this college football season.
Trojans 14.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. A beautiful fake. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
What a way to start the second half. These guys are showing no signs of letting up. They have a chance to take a decided advantage with this possession.
Throwing on first down. Rose. On the left side, he finds Beasley. Shifts free at the 15. And he's able to get this way down deep into enemy territory. And a huge play that time. 48 yards. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Rose. And that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Florida. Lincoln Smith, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And this offense continues to pour it on. That's now his 4th touchdown pass of the ball game. And, boy, this has been quite a performance for the junior, as we remind you, getting his first. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back at the 10.
I know we could sit up here and dance around it a little bit.
14.
But going for 2 in this situation, somebody doesn't like someone else. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, what they couldn't see is you lean back in your chair and you went, I mean, yeah, that's not a good decision. They didn't get it, though.
Yeah, I don't think you can just say, well, my kicker's hurt in this spot. No, okay.
USC gets set here, 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Charles. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
At the 25-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football. Now, 2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. From the gun, Flynn. And that is incomplete.
Flynn's pass, incomplete.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Here's Ellington. A nice run back there off the good punt. It's a 16-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Rose. Flushed out right. He'll run it. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
Operating from the gun. Rose. Throwing deep for Galladay. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked the ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Airing it out deep for Smith. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he will score. Touchdown, Florida. Lakin Smith, 63 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
Touchdown number 5 for the junior quarterback, and that certainly makes Coach O'Brien's job at the postgame press conference a lot easier.
And you're right, he certainly made Coach O'Brien's press conference awfully easy. But how about the conversation he's now going to have with Tommy Matthews? Because all indications we had from talking with Coach during the preseason, he told them both that they were going to get their chance. But now that this guy's throwing 5 touchdown passes, now he has to go back to Tommy Matthews and kind of shrug his shoulders and say, I know what I intended to do. I know what we talked about. But he's got the hot hand. We're going to have to go with it.
A first down carry here for Charles. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
Orlando Charles, the ball carrier.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
On 3rd down, Flynn. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Intended for number
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. This is taken at about the 14. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Ready to begin their next drive. Here's the Florida offense. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself,
it's a foot race. 20. And he will score. Touchdown, Florida. A big play there. 69 yards. As his guys continue to pour it on. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
correct on both counts. Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Here's Florida now after the touchdown, back out to kick it off. Taken in the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
The SC offense about set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone to before.
In trouble, and he's taken down. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to put a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Throwing on 3rd and long. Flynn, and that is incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
And this will pin him nicely inside the 20 as it's out of bounds at about the 14-yard line.
At their own 14-yard line.
The Gator offense about ready to get this next drive started. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
On first down, Rose. This is Smith with a grab. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And he is finally out of bounds, but not before taking it So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Back now here on EA Sports. 1st and 10, Florida. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. From the gun, Rose being chased out left. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Florida. Well, where our booth is here, we can see all of the writers to our left. And their post-game stories, Charles, they have been filed for some time because this game, boy, is it lopsided.
Yeah, we can see our guy Scoop. He's even got his fedora tipped over his face. I think he's taking a nap now. Nothing left to write for him, but how gratifying has it been for them to see what they've done in practice and carry it into a game and see the execution be so good. They've got to feel fantastic about what they've accomplished in this one.
Here's Florida now after the touchdown, back out to kick it off. And this will make it into the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Trojan offense ready to get their next drive started. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nope. And oh my goodness, he loses it again. And the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way.
Flynn's pass complete.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Following the fumble recovery, Rose. And Beasley with it over the middle. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Now Anderson. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience.
And that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Florida. Lincoln Smith there to make the grab. And the fumble recovering leads to 6 points. Well, they just continue to roll. And, Charles, for you and I, we want the close games, but for them, it has to be so nice to enjoy this big cushion.
I can't remember the last time we saw them play this loose and have this much fun. I think they'd love to be able to capture this game, carry it with them from week to week, and be able to execute like this in all the rest of their games.
Takes this about 5 yards deep, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
25-yard line.
The SC offense about set to take over here. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Good word. I like it now because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Cooper was the intended target, and it's 3rd down. Back to throw. Flynn, nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and it'll be a turnover. This is going the other way. And I don't know that that fumble's going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the 4th. It doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head. Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and
operating from the gun. Rose. And he's got it. And he's brought down. That'll put him up over 160 yards receiving now for the game. They can't seem to stop it.
But Charles, here we are in the fourth quarter, and they've got a pretty comfortable lead here. You know, Coach O'Brien, as we talked about, he made those statements about his plans to possibly rotate the quarterbacks, but we have not seen any sign of Tommy Matthews.
And we certainly expected to see him. Look, you and I both sat in there, partner, with Coach O'Brien, and he indicated that he planned to rotate quarterbacks to find out what he had. But with the play that he's seen here, he's like any head coach. He reserves the right to change his mind. And maybe he knew a little bit more than he was willing to tell us. That maybe Tommy Matthews is exactly in his favor.
And that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Florida. Lakin Smith there to make the grab. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
I'm not sure what other ground there is to cover here. I mean, this offense has been amazing. Just total domination, Charles.
They've clicked so well, and if you really focus in on the offensive line, they've protected well when they wanted to throw the ball. They've moved people off the line of scrimmage when they wanted to run it. Smiles all the way around. This offense has been really good in this one.
14.
Here's Florida now after the touchdown, back out to kick it off.
This will make it into the end zone, and no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Trojan offense ready to get their next drive started. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
You're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
16 yards, a first down.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Clay, the intended receiver. And it's third and short.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
He'll get this to Ward. And a loose football. It's going the other way.
Flynn's pass complete. A fumble.
And now 3 drives, 3 fumbles.
What's amazing about it is when we go around and watch practices, how many times do we see them put that sleeve over a football now to make it more slippery and hard to handle? It's almost like they're playing with that sleeve on the ball right now. Was that 3 drives?
Yep.
3 fumbles?
3 fumbles.
It's time to change our luck some way, somehow. Focus, concentration, you'll hear those words on the bench in a big way right now.
It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's first and goal. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Looked to me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield, and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
A terrific job there to keep him out of the end zone. And now it'll be and that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Florida. Lakin Smith there to make the grab. And his guys capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
Well, partner, when a team's up this big, this late in the game, I always wonder what's their motivation, because if it's me, I'm thinking about pulling on the reins a little bit. But for them, I don't think it's in their DNA. It's not in their head coach's makeup at all. I think his opinion is, you stop us. We're not supposed to pull back ourselves.
And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the backflip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
So things got off to a solid start. But after several weeks...
Some huge
Wake up.
news to get to, and none more intriguing.
What are these dishes doing at my feet?
Because it's time for you to start cleaning up your crap. These dishes have been lying in the sink for almost 2 weeks. I mean, look at this place. It's a disaster. You're leaving everything laying around. It's ridiculous.
Who crawled up your butt and died?
You.
Gross.
Hey, get up, man. I want to watch some TV. You've been laying out here all morning.
What's got you two all riled up?
Just turn up the volume, would you?
The Heartbreak Kids have gone from sensational dynamic duo to a sudden two-headed monster. And boy, this is an ugly one.
Hey, I thought I played pretty good out there.
This team still has not found its identity, and I know that Coach O'Brien claims that his 2-quarterback system is matchup based, but I gotta tell you, it sure looks like he still doesn't have a clue what's going on. As Coach Madden famously once said, if you've got 2 quarterbacks, you've got none. And right now, I gotta tell you, man, Coach O'Brien's indecisiveness with the most important